Hello, Mike and Maggie. This is Ken Latham, the design guy, signing on. Okay, here is a view of your screen porch as I understand it. Mike, this is that stone column or stone wrap over masonry. I think size-wise that looks fine. That is a 16-inch column. Probably ought to make that sink down into the ground as opposed to just hovering. So essentially, structurally, what I'm looking at is the beam that's coming across here is going to be carrying the roof. That roof is getting transferred down to this column, the masonry column. That way we don't have any of the load hitting this beam other than the floor joist itself. And then I've got that beam coming across and landing on that post also. So that way we're able to get away with just that one column. And I think that's going to look pretty sharp out there. Size-wise, I think it's good. I believe this is what you were talking about as we come in and look at this. What we're going to end up with as we look inside. You were talking about using your cedar rafters and then your cedar boards for your decking for your metal roof. And then cedar inside for your guardrails as well. And I'm taking for granted you're probably going to stain the salt treat it, but for the time being, we're going to go ahead and just show that this way so we can just make definition out of it. We're going to have a little tiny piece of something that needs to go in here. So what I'm thinking about doing is either could be screen, which it wouldn't be worth screening in my opinion. Just go ahead and either just run a board in there and or go ahead and run the same siding that we put on your previous edition. Just run that shake. Alright, let me flip back here. Mike, this is what I'm looking at. And again, we're going to have the rafter here that's going to come out. I gave us a good amount of overhang. I think I'm at 2 feet of overhang there. Then the actual structural beam here is going to be 2 2x10s. And then, of course, we'll end up with your beam that ends up getting wrapped coming across there. And in between each of those rafters, you'll end up blocking over top of it to keep the bugs from coming in through that overhang, through those exposed rafters. So it's just a bird block is what they call that. Then we've got our 2x that's sitting down at the deck. Same thing here that goes in between those columns. So just as such as we have this, that column beyond. Pardon me while I'm talking and drawing. So we're also going to have your column beyond in that same location there. So those would be the equivalent of the 6x6, or in your case, we've actually got one 4x4 that's wrapped in your cedar. Now I'm going to jump into that floor plan. Actually, before I jump into the floor plan, here we're going to end up with 4 2x8s up against the house. We'd have a single 2x8. I've got a special connection detail that we're going to use for that. Beams were offset in the wall here. It looks like we're going to end up also doing some blocking in here, so we can attach to the stud with a special connector. I'll go over with you what those are. Basically, it's a specialty screw for doing that. And then specialty flashing details. But you were talking about wanting to have this as being like a 4-inch step down coming across. So that's roughly where I've got that set at. Alright, back to the floor plan. So as I'm looking at this corner post is really the only structural post. The ones here, here, and up against the house will just be a cedar box column, no structure to it at all, again non-bearing. So that would be what was happening for the rest of those. Alright, very good. I'll be waiting to hear back from you with your thoughts on what you're looking at. anything that we may want to change before I proceed into the structural drawings. So very good. This is Ken Latham, the design guy, signing off. Y'all have a great weekend. Bye now.